Welcome back to the #1 podcast in the world. We're here with the first episode of the second semester. We're welcoming the best teacher in Beloit College history. Please welcome Matthew Laszlo. All right, applause. You can't hear it, but it's in the microphone. I'll take it. All right, well, welcome.
Thanks, guys. Good to be here.
Yeah, we're super pumped to have you. I mean, I think some of our listeners, close friends, listeners, know that you were a big emphasis in getting this whole thing marketed and designed, and yeah, one of the first calls I made. So
yeah, it was really fun when you said you were going to start this, and just to get a chance to give you some thoughts and input. You guys have taken it and run with it, and it's been awesome. Been fun listening.
Yeah, no, it's been great. From the first call we had, I kind of I think you saw the vision that I had. You kind of helped me tweak that, and yeah, we've kind of just gotten together and ran ever since.
Yeah, the banter of you guys has elevated to just absolutely world class.
The two of us?
Oh, yeah.
Good, I'm glad.
What do you like? Because I'm curious.
Well, I like you guys seem to be more comfortable going back and forth. Like you seem to know when to jump in. Each of you, I was kind of joking earlier, although this might end the podcast. I feel like you got if it's an SAT analogy, it would be Jordan, you are to Pat McAfee as Brody is to AJ Hawk.
Okay, that's a good one.
It kind of feels that way to me. The sober yin to the raging yang.
Okay, yeah. Interesting. That's a great analysis.
That's one thing that makes this podcast work though. We both have very different personalities, but we both change how each other think about stuff, and it just works.
Yeah,
it's really worked. And one thing we talked about a lot on the Deej podcast was that we do different things well. Think about the baseball field. Brody's a speed defense guy, and I'm more of an on base hit tool kind of guy.
Yeah,
but we collaborate, and that's what Beloit College and the liberal arts education is all about.
So true. Yeah, seeing all the parts come together. But it's been fun seeing it evolve. I also love the fact that you all have kept a really good pace since the beginning, because it was the first one was late August.
It was
early September.
It was September 2nd.
Yeah, around September.
Yeah,
and but you've consistently brought guests in and just kept plowing away, and I love that because I'm sure you all back and analyze each one and go, well, what could we have done better and all, but you just keep grinding, or let's just keep doing more, keep doing more, and piling it on. I think you just get better.
Right,
yep,
you
exactly.
just get better.
Yeah,
you one thing we talk about, we use baseball analogies all the time, but it's you get thrown in the fire and you're either going to burn or figure out how to survive.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we've done. Learned a lot throughout, along the way, of course, but it's kind of just been a matter of let's see who we can get.
Yeah.
Let's see who we can meet.
You've had some good gets too.
Let's see what doors we can open, and some doors open and you go, wow, that person sucked, and we don't post it, but then after that, we meet all kinds of people, and then we go, wow, I never thought about this. Have you seen Betting on Beloit?
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with it. Yeah, I haven't seen it much, but I'm familiar with the show.
Yeah, we had Pete on. He's the construction guy.
Okay. We
haven't posted it, but it will go up. And it's I just never really knew a lot of people who took blue collar jobs and became successful.
Yeah.
As successful as he is.
Yeah, I mean he's a really hard worker. Yeah, I just feel we get the chance to network with people that we otherwise would never get to talk to.
Yeah.
Zach Brockman we had on. I mean, we're close with the president now, Eric, which is awesome. And
it's really good.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Well, that's great. I love seeing you guys also just kind of branching out, connecting with people beyond your own team.
Yeah.
Because it can be easy to kind of get into a sort of this bubble of your own group. And then when you get this exposure to other folks, I think it's really broadening. And it's also fun.
Yeah, the podcast was kind of how we started talking to Lathan. It was we had classes with him, but
he's pretty quiet.
But he's quiet, yeah. So it's kind of hard to talk to him. So I hit him up one day. And I was I was in class. Would you ever want to come on? And he was oh yeah, totally. And it's my birthday a few days ago. He ended up coming out with us, and it was just it was fun. It's nice. And then Quasi and Mooch, those are guys that
big fans.
I never talked to until I said, would you guys want to come on? Or they were hey, we see what you're doing, keep going, and yeah, you should come on. And now we're good friends with them. So it's
that's fantastic. It's great. Breaks the ice.
Yeah. I just made a bunch of friends on. It was being a transfer is really hard. You don't grow up with any of these people quite as you do your freshman year. So it's been a great way for me to kind of branch out and meet the other athletes.
Yeah. It's been cool. Well, let's get started with you.
Okay, sure.
So you went to school here.
I did.
You played baseball here.
I did play baseball and football here. Yes.
Was Dave and Ed your coaches for both sports?
Yeah, Ed DeGeorge was the head football coach and athletic director, and he's the one that recruited me to come here, and that was for football. So I was the kicker, and all 4 years he did it. And then Dave I played with the first year was my freshman year. He was a senior.
Okay, wow.
And then my junior year, he came back as the interim. This was his first year. Because now it's been 612 years.
Yeah, something like
36 is the number.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But yeah, seasons 1 and 2, I was a player, and I got to be a part of the committee to actually pick the next baseball coach in whatever it was, 1990 or whatever.
Yeah.
But yes, I saw Dave in a couple different capacities there. And Dave was also my host when I visited Beloit College.
Oh, that's cool.
Which was January of whatever. 88.
Oh, wow.
What was he like back then?
Yeah, he's a total jerk.
I knew it.
No, not at all. In fact, this is a testament to, and I'm sure Dave's the same way with recruiting with you guys, and his dad, Ed. I didn't know this, of course, but I'm pretty sure Ed said to him, I need you to take this recruit. He's a little different. And so they didn't put me up in, the fraternity and were just have him make sure he has a good time. Instead, it was, all right, Dave, this guy's a little different. And so Dave took me to a Beloit Poetry and Fiction Journal meeting. I know, you guys would have signed up right away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then did take me, and I met some other guys that he ran with who did not believe I was a Packers fan, even though I was from Georgia. And so they quizzed me on Packers from the 1970s, which I aced.
Oh, nice.
And then we hung out in Dave's room, and there were some other people who came by, and I had great conversations. It was like, oh, this is so fun. It was deep conversations, not with Dave, of course, because he can't do that.
Yeah.
But other people who he brought in. And I slept on his floor in Whitney back then.
Wow.
But I thought it was fantastic. It was a great visit.
Did he have his baby there?
No, I did not meet the rest of the family. Gosh, but his son Jordan was, oh gosh, I'm probably wrong about this, but under 10 during my playing days. Yeah. And so I'm sure playing, but I think I was his favorite player.
Yeah, probably
during that era, which was not a lot to choose from. To say, but he'd run around the field and all that. And it's wild to think he came up, played here too. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. What position did you play?
So baseball, I was a pitcher.
Okay.
And when I didn't pitch, I played center or first base.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Big utility guy.
Yeah. I want to hear a little bit about just your upbringing from Georgia. Why you wanted to come to Beloit, how you're a Packers fan.
Yeah.
Just, what you were like in high school. Just take us through that.
Yeah, so I grew up in Columbus, Georgia. It's about 100 miles south of Atlanta. Good experience growing up there. Went to a small high school. Loved sports. And I just knew, though, growing up down there at that time, I wanted to go someplace outside the South. It felt restrictive at that age for whatever reason, but I'm proud of this. I did not like a lot of the racist stuff, the sexist stuff that I saw.
Yeah.
It felt where I lived like it was a very closed community. Like if you're not in the circle, then you don't get opportunities. Yeah. That's how it felt. And so I just thought I want to try a different part of the country. How I was a Packers fan, I swear I don't know. It's awful. It is such an affliction because I would throw tantrums as a little kid when they'd lose, and they lost all the time. This was pre-Brett Favre. And my parents, I'm sure, were like, can we give this kid away? He has got a problem when it comes to the Packers. I'm a little better now, a little. But I still wish ill.
Yeah.
And it took great pleasure in watching the Bears eliminated. But Beloit at the time, and we were just talking about this in Navigating Your Career earlier today, we as potential college students didn't know all the schools that existed. So because of sports, I got recruited a fair amount, and Beloit kind of came out of the woodwork. I think the guidance counselor knew about it, said, yeah, it's a good school. That was about all you went on. There's no
Yeah.
internet. And I was attracted to the idea of a small college where I could play both sports, and I thought I'd have a shot at starting right away.
Yep.
That mattered to me. I didn't want to do D1 because I thought I want to be in control of my schedule, and I thought and I didn't know if I'd ever play.
Yeah.
So, and then I visited here, McAllister.
Yeah, Minnesota.
That's insane cold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the other one I consider was DePaul in Indiana.
Yeah. I visited there when I was
Oh,
in
yeah?
the portal.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That seemed like it could be, but honestly, this was my first visit, and I was so pleased and felt at home with the people, and it just felt welcomed that I was like, I'm done. This is it.
Yeah.
So those things resonated. I think I had another moment. I don't think I told this story when y'all were in the marketing class. Brody, maybe you remind me this semester if I did, because it could be interesting. Back then, no internet, no email. I had a question, and I think I'd already committed to coming here, but I called Beloit College to ask some questions, which back in the day, you just call like the main number and
So, like, who
the
even
operator on the
answers
switchboard. Well, I'm not kidding you. This happened to me. So I call, and the woman answers the phone. She goes, Beloit College, how may I direct your call? I go, well, my name's Matt Laszlo. I'm from Columbus, Georgia. And she stops me and goes, you're going to be the kicker in the fall. I'm like, excuse me? She goes, yeah, you're coming. You're going to be our kicker. I was just like, oh, my God, this place. You just image like they're all like.
Yeah.
So she happened to be the trainer, but she was here over the summer. But that feel of personal touch of like, I know who you are, and I hadn't even been here yet. It just made me feel like, oh, this is what's meant to be, and I feel so welcome. And I keep that with me along with other things of how I behave now with all of you. Is like, how do I make you all feel like I know you and that I want you here?
Yeah.
But that moved me a lot. It made me feel like, all right, this is definitely the right place.
That's interesting. I was thinking about that a little bit in terms of like over the summer, like Coach Ed, like if you make it in the paper, like from a game or something, he'll send you like the newspaper.
Yeah, I love
the
it.
day. Yeah. And like over the summer, I got in the mail and I was like, oh my God, like that's like so nice.
Yeah.
And
You're taking me back too, Jordan, and I've told this story in class before too. We needed commons back then, and I'd show up on Tuesday, and there's a little old lady who worked serving the food. Her name is Vivian, and at that time she probably seemed like she was in her 70s, and I'd never said I was really shy, and she just would hand me clippings from the Beloit Daily News and say, you had a great game, and she'd have it in like a little Ziploc bag.
Oh,
Here,
cool.
she'd come to our like spring training games. For us, it was Florida and Panama City, and it's just like, wow. It's like having your grandmother watching over you. So I know what you're talking about. It feels like, it matters what you're doing. And as you guys know, sometimes that's hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We don't exactly fill the stands.
Right. But like what's so hard for us is that like we put so like as much as you don't want to admit, you put so much of your life into like the sport and how much time you spend, how good you are at it. And then like just to get a little recognition from someone who's not in that lifestyle that you're in feels great, And like last year when I would come to your class, I'd get excited about coming because you were the only person I knew like watch the games, you know. So I'd be like, oh, Laz probably saw me hit that double the other day.
Oh, yeah, I'm always trying to pay attention, especially if you're in my class.
Right.
But like who's doing what, how they doing, and then can I make a mention? So, hockey teams are playing now, and some of the guys that I know, I'd be like, hey, saw you had a goal, like good job, way to go, tough loss.
Right.
Usually I can copy and paste that. But, but that kind of stuff to me, I had the little lady Vivian, and Commons do that for me. I'm like, how do I pay that forward? And because I know how much y'all work in relative anonymity, and the commitment you give is enormous. And so I want you to feel appreciated for it. It's important.
It's really hard, just like the stuff we do. I try to tell people all the time, like as an older player at this point, a lot of like experience coming back is like the game is so hard, and these the youngins that come in, they don't really get that. Like everyone goes through I was the best player on my high school team, and now I'm not the best player. I can't handle it anymore, and it's like you just have to realize what you're doing. Like, so few kids across the country are doing what you're doing. Like all these skills, you're going to get to leverage the crap out of all this. It's like giving that perspective to people is big. And that's kind of like a big reason why we do the podcast, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, just because we leverage all of our experiences into doing this.
Yeah.
It's not adding extra work. It's just doing something with the skills you've developed.
Yeah.
I think that's what Beloit College is about. So I'm gonna kind of like change the direction. I want to hear like a little bit about your career.
Yeah, sure.
In terms of what you do and like why you're so rich and live in the suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we'll get into like bank statements.
I'm kidding. No, it's a joke. I'm joking.
Yes, I guess.
joking.
After I graduated from here, I worked in places probably most people haven't heard of, but places that manufacture products, the food service equipment industry for a long time in Chicago. Did sales and marketing there, and that was focused on typically like restaurant chains.
Yeah.
Everything from McDonald's to Jack in the Box to, are you an Emo's hater?
Yeah, I would say I am.
Everybody in St. Louis, Columbia, that triangle, St. Louis, Columbia, and Kansas City, I don't understand.
You don't like it?
I love it. It's great. But
Well,
I
it just
know
tastes-
this trend, and we can.
like cardboard. That's all.
Okay. We agree to disagree. This interview's over.
Okay.
No, but what were we talking about?
Emos.
No.
Wait, do you know what Emos is?
No, I've never heard of Emos.
It's like a famous like pizza place in St. Louis.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
yeah, I'll probably have plenty of
Wafer
next-
thin, like super thin crust.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
You'll have to take me there if I visit.
Yeah, I'll take you to the next
Everybody
one.
from the area where it is says they don't like it. But I'm like, there's like 90 of them. Somebody likes it.
Yeah.
But anyway. So,
about
but
your
the
career,
career piece, the food
restaurant.
service equipment. So any chain
Yeah.
we typically focused on. So I got a lot of exposure to working with engineers at these chains who are trying to come up with product solutions for the kitchen. So I learned really marketing and sales that way. And then one day I got a call from a recruiter saying Clorox is looking for someone in their business-to-business side, or what they call professional products. And I was drawn to trying because I thought, well, that's a big name. It's the first place anyone would have heard of that I would name. So I'm like, well, let me go through the interview process. I did, and they were interested in me for a job where I would have been based in Chicago, like in field sales, running a team. I asked a lot of questions, and I did not feel like I would be successful in that role. So I said, if there was something out by them in their headquarters where I can learn more without being out on that island. I think they were surprised, but they said, okay, we'll keep you in mind. About a month later, they came back and said, we have something here in Oakland, in the headquarters, in that same tiny division, which I later learned once I got there is like really minuscule, less than 1% of the company, and also a place that arguably people they didn't like anymore were sent. They just run out of people they didn't like.
Yeah.
And so they had this spot. So I get out there and just sunk myself into it. And so I started in the B2B side. We pioneered a healthcare business that was about surface disinfection, trying to fight off hospital-acquired infections, which, Brody, you would have gone through that exercise. We did that in
navigating.
career.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so I got the experience of going through acquisitions, of adding tons of people, of managing a big organization just there. Eventually, it was about 100 salespeople. And I never thought I would leave that division because I loved it. But at national meetings for the company, I was put in a position to give a presentation about our division. And so I did it all in character, as though I didn't tell them this. If you've seen Any Given Sunday,
Yeah, I've
football
seen. Yeah,
movies,
I've
so
seen
there's
that,
a
yeah.
legendary speech where Al Pacino talks about how football, like life's a game of inches. And so I adapted that to talk about our business and Clorox, and it blew the place up. There's probably about 1,000 people there across all of Clorox, and then I was suddenly on the map for like, if you can do that, we want you here. So eventually I went over to the consumer side, which is huge for Clorox. I was in the cleaning division. And, about 9 years in, the company had a really bad year. They wanted to change things at the top. And they came to me and said, we want you to lead global sales. and be chief customer officer. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have a ton of experience dealing with the Walmarts and Targets of the world. But they said, we need a change, and we need someone who invests in people, makes people better, tells us what we need to hear, and is really good at giving constructive feedback, and you can inspire this group, the sales group. And they made changes elsewhere, marketing, R&D. So all of us were kind of new as executive leaders. Yeah. We had a new CEO, and, we were fortunate. We had a good strategy. We all did our part, and we doubled the stock price in 2.5, 3 years.
So I'm just curious, sorry, just for our listeners, also including me, like, what does a bad year mean to a business? Like, what numbers are you looking at?
It's a good question. So first of all, kind of look at the Clorox for many years had kind of been a sleepy stock that people just invested in for a nice dividend.
Yeah.
It was in the $85 a share range at that time, but just sort of stagnant. And what we were trying to do is to make the sales growth and profit growth faster than comparable companies to us, so that we stand out as, boy, that's the horse to bet on. So people buy the stock more. So a bad year that set that up, the company will set its financial goals, X, Y, and Z of sales, profit, gross margin. And I think we came in about 50% of what we had said in terms of growth. So it would be almost like if you guys said, hey, we want to win 30 games this coming season, and you only win 15.
That's not good.
Yeah, and there was a year like that. It was maybe the year before you guys were freshmen, or was it your freshman year?
The year before.
The year before was like everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God. It was Dave trying to get his 500th win. It was just like, oh my God, could anything go our way? It was rough. Yeah. But it's sort of like that happened for Clorox, and it was, that approach just wasn't working.
Right.
So imagine you just fall way, way short of everything that you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
And across almost every single business. So that's what facilitated, we need to make a change. And then, I will say operating from a lower bar helped us in year one, but we kept it going for another couple years. So I was on the executive committee about 5 years.
Yeah.
But over the last year or so, I realized I really wanted to do something different with my life. Right. I love working with people and helping make them better. But in a job like that, you're often in meetings, helping run the business. And there were some awesome things about that, but I realized that wasn't really feeding my spirit.
Yeah.
So I thought about it for a couple of years, and I was like, I think I need to go do my own thing. Mm-hmm. And so I left in 2019 and decided I was going to be an executive coach and consultant, and I would work with leaders of all sorts of different companies if they would hire me. My style of leadership was pretty different than most, and so thankfully I had a lot of people who were like, yeah, I would love to do it the way you do, and I want to learn. So I'm like, okay, great.
But think about doing your own thing. It's like if you're going to be a guy who's coaching people on how to be great, it's like, why would you want to do the same thing everyone else is doing?
Yeah. No, I think that's true. I think what's challenging for leaders in business and probably beyond is how do you be vulnerable? How do you be authentic? I think a lot of times people just start to mimic things that they've seen others do and feel like, well, I shouldn't say this or I should be that. So I try and encourage people to get as authentic and true and recognize that that's okay. And even giving feedback, this is a hard thing for people to do. It's not fun for me to do at times too, but how do you do that and tell people, here's what you could be better at without them feeling like you're tearing them down? Those are things I realized I was pretty good at, and I thought, all right, I'd like to do more of that and less of sitting in meetings talking about forecast projections, which is interesting, but it just wasn't for the long term for me. So
being vulnerable, authentic, and transparency and things for what they are is like my whole life.
Yeah.
It's that's the way I feel about everything. Seeing things at baseball and explaining how I feel about them. It's my biggest skill throughout my life is I'm really good at explaining how I feel about things, and kind of seeing them through, and just kind of understanding that and leveraging it for yourself. Like how much baseball do you watch?
Now I'm pretty regular checking in on the Cubs.
Okay.
That's my favorite team.
Yeah.
I don't sit around watching as much, just casually as I used to, but like Cubs for sure.
Do you know who Stephen Kwan is? Guardians left fielder.
Heard the name, but not very familiar.
Well, he in an interview one time was talking about like his struggles with imposter syndrome.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like, because that's my biggest like feat in college, like forever. It's like never felt like anyone was like better than me, but I always like beat myself. Like that's kind of a player like I've been.
Yeah.
And he says something about that of like understanding what those emotions mean and how you feel about them and accepting it. And like that's a big thing I see you doing and you understanding. I remember like your like feedback for me at the end of class last semester, like totally changed my life. Like seriously.
Oh, all right.
Like
I thought you were going to yell at me.
No, seriously, it was like totally true. And I didn't respond just because I was like, I don't want him to think that I saw this, but I did. And it was like something about how sarcasm is sometimes used as like a scapegoat for vulnerability. I was like,
I'm definitely, I've been there.
I know, but it's this is an Ed DeGeorge quote, and this thing is like so he told me one time last year I started to struggle a little bit, and he was like, just give me the speech, because like an Ed DeGeorge speech will help you play good again.
Quit chasing Sally.
Yeah, I've heard that one at least 10 times.
Sally?
Yeah, I've heard Sally.
I got that
No
one.
one knows the origin of Sally.
What's the origin of Sally?
Who is this Sally? I think it must have been someone from his past, but
I
we
bet
won't dive into
Sally
that.
definitely exists.
Yes.
Gotta be.
But I've never literally met a Sally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But okay, but continue.
maybe Sally. Okay.
So
anyways,
he gave you the speech.
So he gave me, but the thing that stuck with me was he said your biggest strength is also your biggest weakness. And so like my biggest strength is my ability to talk to people. That's why we have a podcast, right? And it's also your biggest weakness because you can talk yourself through a hole. It's like I see a lot of things. I see them happening, but I see them too well, you know?
Interesting.
It's like that,
Yeah.
you know? And it's such an interesting thing to think about because it's like, is this thing that carries my life also killing me? I don't know. But yeah.
Deep, soulful, Jordan. I have to think on that one.
Yeah. You don't have to respond to it right now.
yeah.
I was just putting it out there.
Yeah.
I feel like definitely a lot of people on campus kind of view you as like one of our like campus leaders, like someone that we could go to.
That's nice.
I would say so, but I feel like you're not on campus that much.
Would be accurate.
Yeah,
But he's still like very involved with everything, and there isn't hardly anyone that's involved with everything.
I will say, when you think of Beloit business, you think of Laszlo.
Oh, 100%.
You know? Like you're thinking Laura Grube.
Yeah.
But you're thinking Laszlo before you think Grube.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But like I just love how in class, like the last week or two, you just put a random person in the class's picture on the board.
Yeah.
You're like, you answer this question, make them be like accountable and.
They're struggling with that though, Brody.
Yeah, I know they are.
Good Lord.
I want you to put me on the board. I think I'd kill it.
I know you'll kill it,
But yeah, I just think it's doing wonders for like all the students.
I was on the board the first day of class.
Really?
I loved it. It's so funny.
Awesome.
As soon as you brought that up, I went, "Oh, I can picture that day with Jordan."
I was like, dude, let's go.
Yeah,
that class was
you
so
were good
fun.
with it.
Yeah,
You were.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people struggle. They act like they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then I get a little paranoid, like, oh, what if they can't read well?
Yeah.
If they're dyslexic and I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I get over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
One thing I loved about your class was that it always felt like it was like a safe space. Like sometimes in Beloit, like you don't want to say certain things in certain classes. But I feel like in your class we could kind of vocalize like how we felt about things.
Yeah, I definitely want that. What I mostly think about is how do I make this fun and interactive and something that maybe surprises and delights you more than you expect.
Yeah.
I know it's, in my classes, it's basically 2 days a week for, call it roughly an hour and a half. And you all are in a grind of a lot of things, and you're not feeling it every day, that's for sure. And so it's like, how do I bring some energy, some fun, some positivity where – and I set an incredibly high bar for myself, but if you all walk out of there and you're like, I was actually all right, like I'll adjust that to you enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And so to me, that's a win. And then I also try to think about how do I give you something tangible that may help you right now, but it's going to rise to the surface and you're like, oh my God, this is exactly what you said was going to happen. Yeah. That's probably been one of my most fulfilling things, is having lots of students, internship or after they graduate, go like, oh, everything you talked about, it's exactly what's happening. I'm like, oh, well, that's great. Because that to me is, now I've given you real world stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's like the thing that you should be trying to leverage within that is like, how can you take what Laszlo said, see it in real life, and then get ahead of the curve?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think about.
That's, you got it. That's what I want you to be, because there are going to be others who didn't go here, in my opinion, didn't go through what I'm teaching. And then they're going to run into these things, and they're going to get anxious, nervous, tight, uncomfortable. They start pulling back. They're not 100%. They're not going full speed. You guys know all about that. Mm-hmm. If you're like, oh, yeah, he told me about this, I got this, and you just run right through it, the leaders then see you and be like, well, I tell you what, they can roll with anything. Mm-hmm. They just get it. Yeah. I want them to see that. If they think it's just magic, fine. But I want them to just see that you just get it. Now, it does lead to the imposter syndrome, and tons of people have it. Because eventually you're going to rise to a level and you're going to be like, they really gave me this job?
Yeah.
So that's how I felt several of my jobs at Clorox in particular. I'm like, are they out of their minds?
Yeah.
But and I'm like, well, let me just, don't focus on that. Just try and grind, learn. And then ultimately is, how do I give all I've got? How do I help everybody else around me be successful? Don't worry about the credit. And, just be me. And if that works, I can control that. Yeah. It tends to. So I try to apply that here too, Brody, to your point. But I'm not here, I would tell you Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'm typically up here for another day plus for various hijinks, whether it's this Saturday, I'm here to talk to football recruits, broadcasting games, debaucherous parties at the end of the semester that make sure we're all going to go to hell, like good things like that.
What are like some of your biggest pet peeves with students? You don't have to single anybody out.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Christian. He might deserve it.
Oh, really?
I'm kidding.
Christian Moore?
I like giving him some crap.
Oh man, I love Christian. We're pretty tight, but we've had moments too in class, which is only a few people have seen, where I've really given it to him. But
I would pay any money to see that.
Yeah, it's a good story. But pet peeves, don't show up. That pisses me off. Don't ever say anything. Yeah. And especially, this will sound weird, don't ever say anything and do really well. Oh. Because then I'm like, you're just cherry picking the grade. You don't deserve not interested. And deserve doesn't get in there so much to me. It's just like you've missed an opportunity to make a difference and connect with other people or connect with me. I'll say to a lesser degree, it's a pet peeve. I try to connect with everybody and facilitate some sort of relationship that can be ongoing. You run into people who are just not having it. And I'm like, okay, that's their choice. Pet peeve's probably a little strong, but I just think I feel sad about that because I think, missed opportunity. And I also think if you have someone who's got connections, experience, and maybe some wisdom to share, and they're reaching out to you and be like, come on, like I want to, and you just sort of blow it off, it's probably a missed opportunity. Yeah. So those would be things that jump out at me. I love people speaking up in class, even if it's completely off topic. I'm not encouraging it, but at least they're interacting.
At least you're trying, right?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Where do you think like a lot of students like go wrong in college and maybe after college? Just off the dome.
I don't think anything's forever, but probably a common mistake would be thinking you have to have it all figured out.
Well, like what does figuring it out even mean? Like,
well, that's a great question back, but I would say to decide, here's what I want to do for the next 50 plus years. And you say it that way, it's comical.
Right.
Who the heck knows? No. So I would say zeroing in like I have to know the thing I want to do. You don't. Yeah. You just need to kind of, just having this conversation with a student athlete before coming over here, you just need to get in the dance. And it'll change. You work hard, you're good to work with, you learn quickly. They're not going to have you in that first job forever. So just get involved and don't be so attached to what is the job.
Yeah.
And it'll change.
Yeah.
I've watched this for so many people. It was my experience too. You just ultimately what will likely happen if you get into more traditional organizations and jobs is what's going to happen is they're going to go, that Brody, he just gets stuff done. He figured out, put him over here. Let's see if he can figure this out. Yeah. And you're going to be like, I don't know anything about this. This happened to me many times. They're like, you're good. You'll figure it out. That's why we put you here, because you'll learn. You're like, that starts the imposter syndrome.
Right.
You grind and you figure it out. So let's say the getting attached to I have to have it concretely figured out. Don't. Right. Good news, you don't need to.
Yeah.
And then after college, I think, I don't want to say it goes wrong, but I'm seeing this now. There's a ton of buildup and excitement around, I'm going to graduate. Holy cow, am I going to get that first job? I got the first job. And then I got to get a place, and I'm moving here. And oh, I got to get it all set. And then all that adrenaline starts to die down, and you're in a regular job. And I think the feeling of like, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the first job. It's like, that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't expect you're going to be in it for 10 years.
Right.
It might be a year, might be a year and a half, and then you go find something else that now you've grown into something else.
Right.
So I'd say feeling like that first job will solve it forever, I would just look at it as it's for now. And I'm going to learn, enjoy, and build as many good connections as I can and be open to the possibilities of where it goes from here. But thinking that's a failure is also, I'd say, a mistake. Mm-hmm. It's just part of the process.
Yeah.
My first job was a year.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we're done here.
Yeah.
Time to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's totally natural. But
Yeah.
it's understandable. All of you are high achievers, and you've done a lot of great things. So you're used to success in the short term. Mm. And then you look at a career and go, that's not short term. It's a long haul. And you're used to having it all figured out. And I would say that's a big change.
Yeah.
You don't need to have it all figured out.
Yeah.
You just need to kind of enjoy the ride and be curious and learn.
Yeah. Let's get away a little bit from all the boring stuff. Let's talk about some of your interests outside of the classroom.
All right, sure. Okay.
TV shows, movies.
Yeah, let's see. I like golf.
Oh, you love it.
I like showcasing my various quarter zips.
Oh, God.
Different courses.
Love a good quarter zip.
Looking to get out because it's what part of the Phoenix area, Brody?
Mesa.
Mesa. Okay.
Just outside. Yeah.
Looking to get out there late May.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on what's going on with the home team's baseball.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully
perhaps the regional.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Hopefully we're playing past that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. We'll,
one day at a time.
Yeah.
But I hope so, too. But get out there with a friend and play some of the various establishments there in the Scottsdale area. Mm-hmm. Oh. So love doing that, and I typically 1 or 2 trips a year to go to some pretty cool places.
Yeah.
One's the coast of Oregon called Bandon Dunes. Very remote, very rustic. You have to walk. Wow. Weather's usually crazy. That wind, cool. Rainy. It's nuts. So I do like doing that, and I'm not wildly competitive about it. I just enjoy the game. It's kind of meditative. I scream and cuss at myself, and then I act like when I hit a great shot, like, well, yeah, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous, but I enjoy it, and it's a fun way to stay in some sort of shape. Mm-hmm. I cook a ton.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a master griller, smoker.
Nice.
Yeah. So I do enjoy that.
Good for you.
Good regimen of different. I'm not saying it's like, Jack Stack quality.
Oh, Kansas City reference.
Yeah,
okay.
But I do enjoy that, and I like learning from it, and have some go-tos for sure there. So those two things certainly bubble to the top.
Sounds like you've been everywhere in the country.
Yeah, there's only a couple states I've never been to. Montana's high on my list. I've never been. Yeah. some of the like Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and Mississippi. I think those are. But I've been everywhere else, and I've been outside the country a lot too, which has been nice.
I was gonna say, like the St. Louis stuff, Kansas City stuff. And
I do, yeah. I like that part of the country. I found it fun the times I've been there. Kansas City, maybe the worst airport.
Oh my God.
In the U.S.
Like,
it's a joke.
The new one?
Well, I don't know what new means. How new is it?
It's like 4 years.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't seen that there.
Okay.
The old school one was like, you get there, and it's like the gates. It's like as deep as this studio.
It's bad.
It's just terrifying.
The new one's just way more walking. But the only thing about the airport is that everyone in Kansas City lives way south.
Okay, so it's a long way.
It's like an hour away from where we live.
All right.
It's like it's a trek up. It's way in the Northland.
Yeah.
So it's like I hate flying.
Yeah.
Hate flying. It's just really stressful. It's like you're never like happy to see anybody you know in the airport. It's like I just want to get to my destination.
Well, you get onto something, Jordan, that's interesting. My years, especially with Clorox, especially when I was on the executive committee, if there were other people traveling, especially people that were on my team that reported up into me, it's like you get to the airport and you see people like, okay, I got to be on. I got to be friendly because they're constantly thinking about their career, their connection to me. And it's like, and I'm an introvert, so it's kind of like, man, I just want to sit in that empty gate.
Yeah.
It's nothing personal, but I'm going to have to be on for the whole day. But it's tough for sure. But, I love travel as well. I know you're saying that. So I like traveling, especially going internationally, but I love road trips in the U.S. as well. I've seen a ton of the country, and I think it's awesome. Actually, some of my fondest memories, you guys fly to Florida now, which I understand. We used to take vans.
That sounds terrible.
And some of us would trade off driving. It was nuts.
They would never let us do that.
Oh, God. I'm sure from a live, but...
Oh, my God.
But,
Could you imagine if the two of us were, like, taking turns driving?
Oh, it'd be so fun.
It would be
We'd play
so
the best
fun.
music, too, the whole way.
God, that place would be...
Well, it's funny when you say that, too, Brody, because back then it was just the radio. Or someone brought, like, a boom box and they play stuff. I will say those are some of the hardest I ever laughed was those road trips, but in the vans to Florida, they're hilarious, but you're miserable by the time you get to like Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
For us, we were going to the Panhandle, but oh my gosh, you just like this is miserable.
I would say like one thing I want to do this year is just enjoy that little stuff more.
Yeah, you should.
Just because like whenever we're on the bus, like last year I was always so stressed, and I was like, God, we got to play 18 innings of baseball, and Deej is going to be up my ass today. And, just, like, random things. Yeah. And then you look back on it and you're like, man, I probably could have enjoyed that, like, maybe a little bit more.
I definitely feel like I could have done that, too.
Yeah.
But I know that's it's a hard thing because you're pushing yourself to have a, great performance. And you're trying to relax. It's just a lot going on. And so I don't know that you ever can do it, but maybe there's fleeting moments where you're like, okay, this is pretty fun.
Yeah.
And for us, those van rides, you couldn't do anything other than just be miserable in the vans. They were pretty fun, pretty funny, even though you desperately wanted it to end.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like we have like a younger group this year, so we'll kind of see how it goes. We're still kind of trying to figure out what our team dynamic is.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
I don't think we know.
A lot of the time, we don't usually figure that out until Florida.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
That's where all the puzzle pieces fall.
Or Rantoul.
Yeah, Thule.
I hate Rantoul. It's so cold.
It's gonna suck. I'm telling you, the cold this winter has been my 13th reason. I'm going to a warm weather state.
Yeah, I understand.
I need it. I'm just so like I was in Florida over break in like the Miami area, and I was just like waking up, not having to put on 7 layers and just be miserable. Like this is the life.
It's a real thing. It isn't me, but I've known so many people who are just like, no, I can't be in this for long term. And I understand because typically what I'll think about is like, how do I get out of this around March?
Yeah.
Because that's when it's the worst for me. Is just like, come on, it's spring, and you're like, oh, it was a day or two, and then all of a sudden it's miserable again. Yeah. I remember, I don't know if it was your freshman year, the schedule came out, and because maybe it was last year. This was the first time you guys had games like in March of the year. I'm like, and I think I even said to Dave, I go, y'all are never going to play those. And sure enough, there was like a break in the weather, and it was actually kind of okay.
Yeah, I think that was last year.
It was terrible. ran Tool, it was like 17 degrees.
It wasn't there. I mean, there were like games up here in like late March.
Yeah.
Oh, it must have been like MSOE before I got here.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but anyway, you don't know, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I got to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's for a few days so I can be sane again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then gut it out.
Yeah, it's terrible, but it's like it's also like kind of character building. It's part of the Wisconsin experience.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Last Call now.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, how did the idea start? What did it look like putting it together? You know, what were the struggles, fun parts?
Yeah. So both my classes will do projects, navigating your career, marketing principles, and I'll give small groups projects. I don't remember, what'd you work on? Navigating. I know it's been a while. But
we did we picked a club on campus and talked about how we could make it more popular.
Yeah.
I had the dance and theater group.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right, gotcha. And then, Jordan, you did one in marketing, but what was it?
I couldn't even tell you. Yeah, I never paid attention.
Well, he wasn't in class.
Yeah,
Mr.
I wasn't.
Rosenberg.
Yeah, I was never in class.
So I'd done that, and I'd heard enough students complain about the party scene and the social scene on campus and say it's dead. And so I'm like, all right, well, let's turn that into a project. I'm like, well, what's the problem? How do you make it better? And I don't want to shock you, but often college kids will go right to, it's about alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's go further.
Like stronger than alcohol?
It's more than, no, it's more.
I'm kidding. I was going to say, we need something stronger than that.
No, but it's like, that seems too simple that it's just that.
Yeah.
And so students were working on those things in kind of rapid sprints, and I was kind of taking away different things that they thought and feel. And I learned it at a high level. You'd hear things like music, it needs to be fun. I'm like, okay, well, what is fun? And then, you get a little bit like, why do I have to define fun?
Yeah.
But the alcohol piece, you'd hear these symptoms, but you wouldn't necessarily hear, well, what is it really? A year ago almost now, I got some buy-in to do an experiment with a basketball game.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It was Ripon came to town, and we did what's infamous and beloved Ruck Fippen promotion that Ripon loved, our folks loved, the students loved, and it was a great turnout.
We should have wore those shirts.
That became a proof point of this isn't about alcohol.
Yeah.
It's how do we all feel a sense of belonging and connection. So when the college said we want to create the marketing major, and I was asked would I teach the capstone class for that, so the first time was last fall. We looked at what might be the topic, and in student surveys, we saw different things about there's opportunity to improve the student feeling of I feel like I belong, I feel like there's school spirit, I don't know that I'm having as much fun as I could. Well, that validated all the things I've heard from many of you all, students. And then I observe it, and especially at athletic events. I don't feel the vibe from other students. It ticks me off because one in particular really stuck with me last spring. I think I even told you guys about this outside of here. It was a Tuesday. I even ended class early. So I'm like, I'm going to the games.
Yeah.
And I go down, it was 70 degrees. It was stunning.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And there wasn't a student there. And the next day was spring day.
Yeah, Knox. That's where we played.
And I was so ticked off because I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Where else would you rather be on a day like you got to be outside.
Got to be there.
And we had nothing. So the capstone class comes around. We decide, like, all right, we had 12 students. I go, let's go. We're going to make the social scene better.
Yeah.
And so we worked on creating a framework of what are the elements that the more of these elements you pull together, the more they're attractive to your students. And so we did research, interviewed a bunch of students, the students in the class did, came back, then we analyzed that data and thought, okay, what are the real takeaways from that? What are they truly saying? And then we built this framework that said if your events center around social connection, competition, community, like those types of things, those are the feelings that people want. Then there are certain non-negotiable amenities of the college party: music, alcohol, food, Like there needs to be we even got into the level of there needs to be surprises. There needs to be I can't believe this is happening. Some sort of hard to describe delight.
Yeah.
Whoa, this is the place to be.
Yeah. Good ratio.
Yeah. Yes. As I understand. So all these things needed to come together.
Right.
And we pitched it to Student Life and Ron Watson.
And
he was like, yeah, we got to get better at this because he knows it's an issue.
Yeah.
And good on him. Took the framework and then said, let's go. I want to do the December 5th last call event. And Tara, Stephen, and Kevin in Powerhouse were incredible. They took it and ran with it with our class, and we designed this one night. And I'll say, now we look back and it's like, oh, this is a great thing. It was a lot of drudgery to get to the last couple of weeks because it's so much detail, and many of you all have never spent months trying to work on something. And keep in mind, our goal was to get about 600 students to go, which initially people were like, there's no way that's going to happen. It never happens, which I understand. But the most fun for me, I would say watching the students in the class start creating the Instagram content down the stretch, and watching them create these, I think, awesome but also unpolished, raw, trying to get your tease people into what is this and what's going to, it's different. It's not an email from people saying there will be an event. It's like a vibe. And seeing them get creative with it, that was one of my favorite things. I think my favorite moment pre-event, we planned on Thanksgiving Day. We got into all sorts of details on this. We're like, on Thanksgiving Day, we want to drop a post, and that's when the tumbler with the branded beer and cider is going to be released. Yeah. And as we talked it in class before the break, it was like, what are people doing on Thanksgiving Day? The students, they're either on campus bored, or they're at home. I'm not saying they don't love their families. I don't want a lawsuit, but you're at home and all right, I have my twin bed, I'm with my parents and family. I miss being on my own. Yeah. And I'm like, let's hit them with this in the afternoon, and you're going to see it on Instagram, and you're going to go, God, I can't wait to go back. Yeah. That was the design. And then, the biggest highlight was the event itself. Yeah. Probably the first highlight was started at 9 in Commons, the pancake breakfast thing, which we had a ton of stuff we were giving away in there. I assumed, wrong, that most would show up 9:45. Yeah. Start dripping and I'm not going to go on time. Yeah. But I was outside by the wall where the outdoor portion, and around 8:30 I saw waves of people hitting Commons. And I even said to someone else, I go, is something else going on? Yeah. That we didn't, and then we just see hundreds of people lined up outside Commons, and I'm like, it was sort of a moment from the movie Jaws where I'm like, we need a bigger boat. I didn't expect this. Yeah. So that was enormous, and then celebrating with the class during the party. Yeah. Popping some champagne.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was pretty special.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, but honestly, the highlight was just seeing all of everybody. Yeah. And turning around, I saw you guys, and just suddenly I turn around and see international students, and see everybody talking and having a great time. I was so happy. It was, it just brought a lot of joy.
Yeah, man, we should have had him bring some of the Beloit ciders.
Oh my gosh, I want one so
went
bad.
through them all.
Oh my god,
that was super popular.
So
I didn't expect that.
They were gone by probably 11:30.
Oh
no,
god,
bro, you're right on. We didn't get as much of that as the beer, but we got a lot. But the people handing them out were like, "That's what everybody wants." Yeah, I'm like, really? So we learned from that. But that was incredibly fun too, creating a branded. Beer. And what I found, and this was our observation, there were no incidents coming out of the event. So it was,
none that I know of.
No, I know this. We went through
none that we did. Yeah,
yes,
we're good.
Good job, guys. But also to see that even though we had literally those free drinks, that was not the primary thing that people were just doing that the whole night. Yeah. You saw people spread out, enjoying the lights, enjoying the games, enjoying the DJ thing, enjoying the photo thing, and just getting their Duluth Trading underwear and tees, like all that stuff. It was that paid off because I think there's been there is a perception that can exist that all college students want is alcohol, and I'm not saying that it's not a part of the college experience.
Probably like 30% of it,
but people who were there stayed for hours and not just for that. Yeah. So to me, it was a helpful thing for the college to see and realize, we can kind of do these things. But the key is don't just have alcohol, but also you don't need to not have it and expect that everybody's going to be in love.
Yeah.
You need to think through what you're creating, and that people ultimately, what you all want is to connect with one another.
Yeah.
Which I got to brag on you guys because you had one of the students who was part of the team that created Last Call. That's Sam Holy.
Yeah.
Big hockey player.
Yep.
Came from Northland. Here's his 1 year.
Yeah.
And he and Trey were put into this practicum class and don't know anybody. They were amazing. And you guys had Sam on. There was a moment. I talked about this to a lot of people where, Jordan, you said to Sam, and it was so delightfully awkward, but so honest. I thought it was great. You said, I've seen you around Hamilton's. I go, he's this big guy. He seems like he'd be really cool. I like to hang out with him, but how do I do that? I don't just go up to him and go like, hey, do you want to hang out? And you're like, and I'm like, it sounds goofy, but it's so good because that's exactly right.
Yeah.
We're all on this campus, and if I'm in your shoes, just as I was, am I going to go talk to people and they're going to be like, who are you?
Yeah.
Why do you? Or are they going to look at me and go like, oh, yeah, you're the athlete. Get out. So how do we create events that create that connection, that shared experience, so you don't see each other? You start to really know one another.
Yeah.
That's what we were trying to do. But I love that moment, and I thought it captured exactly what we were trying to do.
Right. And I think it's something I think about all the time. It's like, I'm in like an acting class, like an acting comedy class. Just wanted to try it,
Yeah, great.
I had a moment of like, I was wearing a baseball shirt, like, oh, I knew he was a sports guy. And I was like, come on, guys, like you're just giving in to this like stereotype and whatever. But that's why we have this podcast. I'm like, I'll take one of you guys and put him on here, and you can really get to know who we are and stuff. Yeah. But it's our biggest superpower because it's like, if we find someone funny or just someone entertaining, like Frank, the president.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we'll just have him on. Yeah. It's like hilarious. It's like,
absolutely.
You can just do stuff like that. So that's our version, but a lot of people don't have it. So yeah, kind of capturing that moment is huge. But what I want to know, and I'm sure you guys are still trying to figure out, is like, how do we take that moment and leverage it and use it and make things better throughout the course of this semester too?
Yeah, I can give you my opinion, which would be, you learn from Last Call and say the events that go on during the spring that the college throws. Let's call Student Life, for example. But even if you were to say, hey, there's a club, a fraternity, a sorority, an organization that wants to throw an event, you say, okay, well, what made this go well? You have some sort of activities that make people, in a fun way, connect with one another.
Yeah.
Share who they are. That was the other piece I would say is, you guys remember you went to Commons, there were all the stickers. We didn't go crazy with those, but we had a lot. But that, to me, was really popular, and we knew that would be well received because you got a chance to express who you are. That's me. That's my sticker.
Right.
And then what we learned is you're also like, yo, but I like these folks too, so I want their sticker. And so it was a chance to express yourself, but also express support and camaraderie. I thought that was good. But I think for the college going, all right, I know what college kids think they want out of a party in terms of amenities, and that's going to be music, drink, food. Right. How do I also then couple that with experiences that aren't cringy, but that also entice people to like, hey, I'm going to have fun with other people. I'm going to connect. We're going to have fun conversations. We're going to laugh. We're going to get to know each other. That then allows when I see you the next week, I'm like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to build a relationship. And then beyond that, it would be, you got to have Last Call too.
Yeah.
The revenge. Yeah.
Are we going to have it at the end of this semester?
I'm not the person to officially announce it, but I will say this, like, wheels are in motion from a planning perspective.
Oh, wow.
We need a certain former podcast guest here to wave the scepter and say, let's go. But I have not asked that person yet.
Well, if you ever need us, you let us know.
Clearly, the hype machine will be big.
I was going to say.
But you guys tell me, I would assume we announced that, and let's say we did it the last day of class again, which may or may not be April 29th. If that happened, would you assume people are like, oh, I'll be there?
Oh, yeah.
It might be tough for us with baseball. But,
depending on what you got that.
Just going to depend how much we can indulge in that 30%. But, so I guess we'll see. But
I'll definitely spread the word.
More just in general, do you feel like based on what you saw that night, students would want to go again?
Yeah, of
100%.
Course. I just think it's like it's atmosphere. And, you have your people who want to, like, dance and be really drunk and hallucinate and just, like, love that. But then there's your people who want to, like, sit down and, like, talk to people that they've seen in classes, haven't gotten to know, and, I don't know, create some new inside jokes. I mean, we created plenty of our own while we were there. I mean, we messed with some soccer players, and, it was fun. So it was really fun. Like, one thing, so, like, my birthday's a few days ago, and I told you we went to the downtown den, and we just, like, had, like, a great group of guys in there. And people were, like, telling me, oh, that was so fun. I was like, first off, I don't remember it that much. And second off, it was like we kind of were just, like, with a mixed group of people, like some basketball guys, football guys, Mooch and Quasi, and then, like, the baseball guys. Everyone gets along, because we're a small community, and everyone wants to be with each other. So if you can get the best of both, you can get those two things there. I mean, that's what you had in the winter. So
we all just have the same goal of just we want to have a good time.
Yeah, we want to be somewhat successful in our sport, and we want to have fun. Like, that's really about it.
I think I do my far out vision would be this is something that's done the last day class every semester, and I think the college probably be open to this would start bringing alumni.
Oh,
yeah.
Because I got to tell you, there were a couple others that were there.
Yeah.
One in particular from back in the day, he understood a good party back in the day for sure, and he was there, and he said to me, "This is better than anything we had back then."
Yeah.
And then to do it outdoors there, I could see alumni saying, like, I get a chance to run it back.
Yeah.
One more wall party.
I would never
and they're
turn
curious to meet you all.
Yeah.
I just think I can see it going, getting pretty big.
Yeah.
College just got to show the willingness to commit to it, but it's an overwhelming success. I think there's some articles coming out about it soon for alumni, so I expect to see some more excitement, hopefully.
Could you imagine, like, last call, number 3, and then we're, like, famous podcasters, and we come back, and the place is, like, grown from, like, the wall all the way to, like, the frat row.
Hey, Jordan, that's exactly what I painted that picture for Ron Watson. I go, man, I'm telling you, someday, and I'm not saying the college, the alumni, this Field of Dreams stuff we're talking about here, where they're like, I'll give $10,000, and next thing you know, it's like, let's light this whole street.
Yeah.
Let's bring in, I mean, who knows what it could become.
Yeah.
And I think it becomes bonding. What I love about it is, because I got to feel it that night, and it's probably a little different from me. It's weird being an old dude, and I'm in the middle of this massive college party, and yet I felt very much at home with all of you. And I picture alumni would quickly feel that way.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, my God, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of good things could come from that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty special experience.
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come.
That is what they say.
I will tell you, I wasn't sure. And that's not about the work we did. I just was worried that students might be so far gone in terms of cynicism.
Yeah.
And you heard me allude today, Brody, in class, because I talked about this briefly of, like, if you attach certain brands of groups to it, it's a turnoff to some big chunks. And I think we went a ways towards hopefully healing some of that. But I was worried that people would be like, I don't think that's not going to be any good.
Yeah.
And I had some students go like, it's too cold. I'm not going to do that. And then at 1 a.m. I saw them with no coat on, not drinking, but just dancing, having a great time. I was like, okay, so we learned something from this.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, this has been great. We got over an hour, so we're going to have to
sweet.
wrap this up and get out to practice.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
What are we working on today?
live ABs are starting, and then we're going to buckle down on some defensive work, maybe some rundowns.
Rundowns, PFPs.
Yeah.
That kind of the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Who's the pitcher on the staff that you least like to face as a hitter?
Ben
Schweit.
Schweit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's very good. It was
Yeah.
fun watching him kind of
Yeah.
emerge last
Yeah.
season.
Yeah. We'll give you some more ins and outs when we're off the air.
Yeah.
That's good.
Let's go ahead and end this thing.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Love it.